Hi, Total Recapped here. Today, we will be going through the events of the 2013 action-adventure movie, The Wolverine, directed by James Mangold. Now warning, this video contains spoilers, so watch at your own risk. Now let's get right into the movie. The movie opens in a World War II prison camp near Nagasaki, Japan. It is the 9th of August, 1945, the day the US dropped a nuclear bomb on Japan. A young Japanese officer, Yoshida, watches a pair of B-29 bombers appear over Nagasaki and rushes to free dozens of captured American soldiers, while the other Japanese officers prepare for death. After freeing other normal prisoners, he notices a hyper-secure underground prison cell where a man named Logan is locked. Yoshida frees Logan and tells him to run, but the man doesn't move. Yoshida then kneels in line with the other Japanese officers to ceremoniously commit suicide, but cannot bring himself to take his own life. Seeing him hesitate, Logan tells Yoshida to climb down into the pit, as he'll stand a better chance of surviving the nuclear blast below. Yoshida complies, and as a bomb falls on Nagasaki, Logan grabs a metal door and covers Yoshida with it. A wall of fire sweeps into the well, and Logan is consumed by it and horrifically burned. However, Yoshida survives the bombing with only a small burn on his cheek. The Japanese officer watches in horror as the third-degree burns on Logan's body heal before his eyes. Logan suddenly awakens in the modern day with a woman named Jean Grey by his side. It is revealed that Jean is Logan's lover, and he has been having bad dreams every night for a while now. As Logan expresses his love to Jean, he realizes that he is having a dream within a dream, and he wakes up in a cave in the Yukon. It is revealed that Jean died a while ago, and since then, Logan has been living a primitive, solitary lifestyle. It's now the 2010s, and Logan lives in the woods like a wild animal. He hasn't aged a bit because he is immortal. He suddenly hears cries of agony and ventures out to inspect. After looking for a while, he learns that it is the cries of a grizzly bear that has been struck by a poison-coated arrow. The bear looks to Logan with tear-filled eyes, and Logan is forced to put it out of its misery. Logan plucks the arrow and stalks into the town looking for the hunter. He eventually locates the culprit at a local bar. When Logan confronts the hunter and his friends prepare to attack him. However, a Japanese woman named Yukio intervenes and pulls out her samurai sword called Danzin, the Separator. It's called so because its purpose is to separate the heads and limbs from bodies. Yukio slices the sword through the air, nearly killing the other hunters in the process, but frightening them all. Logan then leaves with the woman and asks who she is. She reveals that she has been sent by Yoshida, who is dying of cancer, and wishes to speak with Logan before he dies. Logan is reluctant to go to Tokyo, but can't ignore this personal obligation. Logan flies to Tokyo with her and arrives at Yoshida's palatial residence. Upon arrival, he is made to shower and shave by Yoshida's Dr. Green and grieving granddaughter Mariko to protect the elderly Yoshida from possible infection, much to Logan's dismay. After becoming more presentable, Logan is finally allowed to speak to Yoshida. The dying man reveals that he summoned Logan because he believes his cutting-edge company has the technology to present Logan with a unique opportunity. Yoshida believes that they can make Logan mortal and transfer Logan's life-giving mutation into his own body. Yoshida claims that he wants to live because his granddaughter Mariko's life is in danger. However, Logan gets upset at the request as he believes that no one should want his power. As he proceeds to walk out, Logan witnesses Mariko's father, Shinjin, coldly and angrily slapping his distraught daughter. Upset, Mariko attempts to take her life, but Logan saves her. Afterwards, Yukio convinces Logan to stay for a few days and takes him to his room. She also reveals that she was adopted by Yoshida when she was a child. A commotion outside Logan's room wakes him up later that night. When he ventures out to inspect, he learns that Yoshida has passed away. The next day at Yoshida's funeral, Yukio introduces Logan to Shinjin. Shinjin doesn't seem to be a fan of Logan and tells him to go home. It is then revealed that the ceremony is being watched by a lone archer named Harada from a distance. He is late Yoshida's disciple, keeping a watch on Mariko, who is in attendance with her fiancé Noburo. As the ceremony begins, Mariko is ushered up to the front of the funeral by a pair of priests. Logan immediately notices that the priest's arms are heavily tattooed with what are certainly yakuza markings. The yakuza hitmen drop their pretense and shoot Logan in the chest. For some reason, Logan experiences more devastating pain than usual. The The yakuza grab Mariko and flee the funeral. Logan chases after the goons and is backed by Yukio and Harada. Logan eventually manages to free Mariko and take her to safety. Mariko thanks Logan for saving her life and tries to get rid of him, but Logan continues to follow her. The two board a bullet train and Logan asks her why the goons were trying to get her. Mariko explains that in 3 days' time, her grandfather's will is to be read, which will name her and not her father as the new head of the Yoshida Corporation. The yakuza are desperate to kidnap her because it will mean a huge ransom. Mariko also reveals that she is headed to one of her family's homes at the end of the line. As a safety measure, the two exit the train well ahead of their destination. They decide to stay at a shady love hotel, thinking that it's the last place the yakuza would look for them. An exhausted Mariko sleeps as Logan stands watch on the balcony. Shortly after, Logan is attacked by yakuza men. He fights back, but he is outnumbered and the yakuza men almost finish him off. But Mariko intervenes and kills the remaining yakuza with her blade-throwing skills. Logan passes out from his wound and later wakes up in a veterinarian's office, being stitched up by the son of the hotel's manager. Logan feels much better, but he is still far from immortal. He suspects that Yoshida's physician, Dr. Green, stole his immortality from him. Meanwhile, Dr. Green is seen sneaking her way through a seedy back alley. It is revealed that she is a human snake mutant and can spit a fatal green acid, due to which she goes by the name of Viper. In the alley, she meets Harada and asks him about Mariko and Logan's whereabouts. However, Harada's men haven't been able to track her because Mariko hasn't appeared in any of her usual spots. Viper reveals to Harada that she is behind Logan's mutant powers being suppressed and tells him that they have less than 3 days to find her. Mariko and Logan continue their journey and make their way to Yoshida's long-forgotten home in Nagasaki. After Logan identifies Harada in one of the pictures in the house, Mariko reveals that she grew up with Harada and wanted to marry him, but due to political and business reasons, she had to get engaged to Noboru. Over lunch, Mariko asks Logan about Jean, whose name he tends to repeat in his sleep, and Logan explains the relationship he had with Jean, how he loved her, and how she died. Worried about Mariko's safety, Yukio calls Mariko on a secured line and pleads to know where she and Logan are hiding. Mariko refuses to say, due to safety reasons, but assures Yukio that Logan is being good and is caring for her. Afterwards, the two go for a walk and Logan recognizes something in the distance: the location of the prison camp and the well in which he saved Yoshida. Logan then helps some locals chop wood and begins to shed his gruff exterior, which Mariko finds appealing about him. Soon it begins to rain and the two return home. After taking a shower, Logan changes into a traditional Japanese dress, and Mariko helps him with it. One thing leads to another and the two make love. The following morning, Logan wakes and can't find Mariko anywhere. When he hears her screaming, he rushes outside and learns that the yakuza have found them and kidnapped Mariko. Logan goes after them, but one of the soldiers shoots Logan, slowing him down. They take Mariko with them, but Logan manages to pull one goon from the vehicle and torture information of Mariko's whereabouts out of him. Yukio arrives, having followed the yakuza to Nagasaki, and reunites with Logan. The two then go after the only lead they have, Noboru, Mariko's fiancé. On the way, Yukio explains to Logan that she has the ability to see death, and that she has seen Logan die with his own heart in his hand. But Logan brushes it aside. After reaching Noboru's apartment, Logan threatens to kill Noboru and forces him to reveal that he kidnapped Mariko for his partner in crime, Shinjin. After hearing this, Yukio and Logan immediately head back to Tokyo. Meanwhile, at the Yoshida estate, Shinjin explains his plans to Mariko. He reveals that after he discovered that Mariko, not himself, would be inheriting the corporation, he conspired with the yakuza through Noboru to have her killed before the will was read. Suddenly, black-suited ninjas led by Harada and Viper descend upon the compound and secretly neutralize the yakuza guarding it. After cornering Shinjin, Viper spits in his face, severely disfiguring it, and tosses him into a pool. Viper, Harada, and his men take Mariko and disappear. Logan and Yukio arrive and find evidence of the massacre. In Yoshida's room, the pair find a message from Viper challenging Logan to come and free Mariko. Logan takes a look around Yoshida's private high-tech medical room and decides to undergo an MRI scan. Shockingly, he discovers a metallic parasite attached to his heart, implanted by Viper days earlier. It has impaired his healing ability. As Logan cuts open his chest and reaches for his heart, Shinjin, who apparently survived, appears and attacks Logan. Yukio quickly intervenes and takes on Shinjin, allowing Logan to destroy the robotic parasite in his chest. However, Logan loses consciousness as a result, and he lays with a giant open wound on his abdomen. Shinjin eventually overpowers Yukio and proceeds to finish her, but a healed Logan intervenes and finishes him off. Logan then heads to the Yoshida facility where Mariko has been taken to, leaving Yukio behind for her own safety. At the Yoshida facility high in the mountains, Viper sends Harada to capture Logan alive. Harada and his ninjas confront Logan in the nearby village. They attack him all at once. After a long, intense battle, Harada's men spray him with arrows attached to ropes, impaling him a dozen times within seconds. When even this fails to stop him, Harada launches an arrow dipped in Viper's venom at Logan. This weakens him considerably, and he finally passes out. Logan later awakens inside the facility bound to a chair. Beside Logan is a massive metallic mechanical samurai. Viper appears and reveals that the samurai is made up of adamantium just like Logan. Viper explains that Yoshida had been stockpiling adamantium in recent years, having been obsessed with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, and using this suit, Wolverine can be killed. Viper then deliberately angers Logan and goads him into extending his claws. As soon as he does so, constraints are clasped onto his hands, preventing him from retracting the claws. Wolverine watches in horror as the giant adamantium samurai comes alive and draws an 8-foot-long flaming sword. However, as it positions itself to cut off his claws, Mariko stabs Harada and runs to Logan's side, distracting the samurai. This results in the samurai slashing Logan's restraints open, allowing him to escape. Meanwhile, Yukio, who had followed Logan, arrives and battles Viper while Logan deflects blows from the much larger and stronger samurai. The samurai manages to cut the claws off of one of Wolverine's hands, revealing bone underneath the adamantium. After being stabbed by his childhood love, Harada starts seeing error in his ways, and he makes a last effort at redemption by attacking the samurai, giving Logan a chance to collect himself and pick up one of the samurai's 2 swords. Enraged at Harada, the samurai stabs the ninja with his sword. Seeing the samurai distracted, Logan slashes the samurai's helmet off. Logan then jumps onto the samurai, tumbling him down, and out-of-control mechanical samurai smashes open the side of a facility. In the process, Logan is pushed out of the hole, and as Logan dangles hundreds of feet over the ground, the samurai collects himself and cuts Logan's other hand's claws clean off. The samurai's pilot is finally revealed. It is Yoshida, the old man thought dead. Yoshida explains that his life's goal since meeting Logan was to prolong his own life at whatever cost. When Logan refused to go through with the procedure, he faked his own death with the assistance of Viper and kidnapped Mariko, knowing that it would lead Logan to him. Yoshida then drills needles into Logan's exposed bone claws straight into the marrow and steals Logan's powers. Logan grows old, and Yoshida, by way of the interconnected suit, becomes young again. However, before the process could be completed, Mariko attacks Yoshida while one of Logan's broken claws. She then berates her grandfather and stabs him in the head again. As a result, Logan is freed from the suit's drills and his life returns to his eyes, instantly growing back his bone claws. Logan then stabs Yoshida and pushes him in the suit out of the facility, and it crashes on the rocks below. Some days later, Mariko inherits her grandfather's empire, and she bids Logan farewell at the airport. Yukio, who survived her encounter with the Viper, decides to join Logan on his journey, acting as his bodyguard. And that was my recap of the movie. I hope you enjoyed it. Now comment on what your favorite part was, and make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.